You just
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start. If you guys are all good to go. Yeah.
No, it's Rob's laptop. I keep saying that I don't know how to person. Share the person first. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't.
Jeez.
I made a couple.
Ready to go yet.
You should not be.
Okay, we were this close.
All right. I think we've already.
I think we're recording. Can I just wondering if I can go ahead and
Yeah,
start
so
the meeting.
we started recording, right?
Yes.
I did hear it say that.
Then we're ready to go.
Okay. All right. Okay, at this time, I call to order this public hearing of the Bonner County Hearing Examiner on August 7th, 2024 at 1:40 in the afternoon. We are located in the first floor conference room of the Bonner County Administration Building, 1500 Highway 2, Sandpoint, Idaho. We are streaming online via Zoom and YouTube. Is there anyone in attendance in need of special assistance to see, hear, or participate in these proceedings? Please take note of the hearing procedures on the screens. I will be submitting my written decision within 5 business days of this hearing. At this time, I'd like to lead the room in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you. Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay. Any announcements you guys want to make right now? Are there any corrections or changes to the July 17th, 2024 hearing minutes? Okay, then I declare them approved. Okay, so we are going to start today out with file V0003-24, a variance property line setback. The applicant is requesting a 12-foot property line setback where 25 feet is required. The 18-acre property is zoned agricultural forestry 20. The project is located off Jonathan Lane in section 30, township 55 north, range 2 west, Boise Meridian, and I have no conflict of interest with this project, so it's all yours, Alex.
Thank you. Alex Sand, planning staff for the record. Today we're going to hear file V0003-24. The applicant is requesting a 12-foot property line setback where 25 feet is required. Property is approximately 18 acres and the property is zoned agricultural forestry 20. Property is located off of Jonathan Lane, a privately owned and maintained road. And on the right-hand side is a aerial view of the parcel. And this is the site plan given by the applicant. This is an 18-acre residential parcel. It is unplatted. It is zoned agricultural forestry 20. Has a comp plan designation of ag forest land. It is located off of Jonathan Lane, a privately owned and maintained road. The site does contain map slopes. It does not contain any water frontage or mapped wetlands, and it contains or it's located within special flood hazard area zone X. Property is served by an individual well, an individual septic system. It's located within the service area of Lake Pond Area School District number 84, served by Sagal Fire District and Northern Lights Incorporated for power. These are the standards at which this application was reviewed against. This was routed to a full list of agencies that can be found on Annex A of the staff report. We received comments from the Bonner County Floodplain Manager, Bonner County GIS, and Bonner County Road and Bridge. And we received no comment replies from Idaho Department of Environmental Quality and Idaho Department of Fish and Game. All the other agencies that were routed did not respond. So we'll get to the criteria of variances. The first criteria is to describe weather conditions applied to the property. that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zone vicinity, which conditions are a result of lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the applicant has no control. The applicant stated that they placed the home in the property corner due to a more flat ground and slopes would make building hard, so they would need slopes on the property. The staff response was this parcel is approximately 18 acres in size. The property has been developed with a single family dwelling unit, an accessory structure, and an accessory dwelling unit. The property does not appear to be similar in topography to surrounding properties in the same zone vicinity. It appears that the majority of the property contains 15 to 30+% slopes, which can make building and developing a property challenging. There are no water bodies on this property. It is not located within a special flood hazard area, but the topography could pose challenges and may limit the applicant's ability to place the structure elsewhere. Second criteria is to explain how special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. The applicant stated, thought the setbacks were 15 feet to the property line from structure, not the eaves. We have changed nothing as far as the natural lay of the land. The staff response is that the applicant obtained the property by way of warranty deed on February 1st, 2005. Instrument number 669484, Bonner County records. There are no records that the applicants have changed the shape, size, or location of the property lines on this parcel that would warrant this variance request. However, this accessory dwelling unit was built on the property without a building location permit. The Bonner County Planning Department issued a building violation on this property, building violation number 2023-0151. The applicant submitted a building location permit, BLP number 2023-1110. According to the applicant's site plan, the building was 12 feet from the property. While the applicant has not created any problems of their own in terms of any changes to the parcel itself, this building was built without a permit and was built too close to the property line. However, the topographical challenges on this parcel appear to leave limited development areas. And the third criteria is to explain how granting the variance is not in conflict with the public interest and that it will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare, or materially injurious to properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject parcel or lot. The applicant stated that the east and north sides of the home are not interfering with the homeowners of these parcels as they already have homes far away from the site. The nearest house from the site is 600 feet to the south. This should not affect neighboring properties. The staff response was that no responses from agencies or members of the public were received that would suggest any harm to the general health, safety, or welfare to the public or materially injurious to the surrounding properties. Property is located at the end of Jonathan Lane as developed and is surrounded mostly by privately owned forest and farmland. The nearest residence to this property is approximately 600 feet or 650 feet as the crow flies south of the subject dwelling unit. This adjacent property is located off a different road, Justine Lane, a privately owned and maintained road. This accessory dwelling unit does not appear that it will have any effect on neighboring properties. We did receive public comments for this file, and they should be in your packet today. And the overall staff analysis, there are topographical challenges on the property, specifically steep slopes that can make developing the property difficult. The property surrounding the subject parcel seem to have similar slope, but this parcel appears to have more severe slopes than others. The applicant obtained the property in 2006, and according to records, the property has not been altered by the applicant in any way that require this variance to be requested. However, the applicants built this accessory dwelling unit without obtaining a building location permit. A building violation was issued to the applicant by the Bonner County Planning Department, and the applicants have applied for a building location permit. No agencies or members of the public commented on whether the increased accessory dwelling, whether the accessory dwelling unit would be harmful to the public health, safety, or welfare of the area, or be materially injurious to adjacent properties. Again, the property is located at the end of Jonathan Lane and is surrounded mostly by privately owned forest land, and the nearest residence to the property is approximately 650 feet south of the subject dwelling unit, and the adjacent property is located off of a different road. And staff has concluded that this application is consistent with Bonner County Revised Code. And I can answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, would the applicant like to make a presentation at this time? They do a really good job, don't they?
Yes.
Okay, this time I'm going to read the rules of testimony. If you wish to testify, you will need to please state your name for the record. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person. You may give your 3 minutes to another person, so they have up to 6 minutes to speak. No one will be allowed more than 6 minutes. Public comments are limited to the specifics of this application only. If you agree with another speaker, please just acknowledge agreement. No need to repeat the information again. Any personal or derogatory comments about another person or their position will not be allowed. Clapping, cheering, or booing will not be allowed either. Is there anyone that has a written statement that they would like to enter into the record? Any supporting public testimony in person or online? That's you guys. Nobody online?
So, yeah, there's one hand.
Okay, is that supporting? She's raising her hand now.
Yeah, I've unmuted her.
Okay. Go ahead and please state your name for the record. Online. Callie?
I'm here for a different property.
Oh, okay. We'll catch you in a few minutes then. Sorry about that. Okay, no one else? Any neutral public testimony in person or online? Any opposing public testimony in person or online? Okay. Anyone in the audience who did not sign up to speak who would like to enter comments into the record? Okay, so nobody to rebut. All right, so at this time, I'm going to close this file to public testimony. Yeah, I can see where looking at the slopes alone, that would have been a challenge for this property. So, and I lost my place. Sorry, now it's my turn for technical difficulties. Okay. So, okay, so, and aside from the fact that they went ahead and built it without, they will be addressed, I assume, in that building permit, so that part of it. So I am going to go ahead and approve this project. V0003-24 requesting a 12-foot property line setback where 25 feet is required, finding that it is in accord with the Bonner County Revised Code as enumerated in the following conclusions of law. Conclusion 1, conditions apply to the property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zone of vicinity, which conditions are a result of lot size, shape, topography, and other circumstances over which the applicant has no control. Conclusion 2, special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. Conclusion 3, the granting of the variance is not in conflict with the public interest in that it will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare, or materially injurious to properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject parcel lot. And based upon the evidence submitted up to the time the staff report was prepared and testimony received at this hearing, I further adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law as set forth in the staff report and direct planning staff to draft written findings and conclusions to reflect this decision and transmit to all interested parties. The action that could be taken to obtain the variance is to complete the conditions of approval as adopted. This action does not result in the taking of private property. Okay, so at this time I close file V0003-24. And we are moving on to file V0013-24, variance property line setback. The applicant is requesting a property line setback of 8.62 feet where 15 feet is required. The 0.15 acre property is zoned Alpine Village. The project is located at Auxiliary Court in section 20, township 58 north, range 2 west, Boise Meridian, and I have no conflict of interest with this project, so play your draw. Sweet.
This file is V0013-24, property line setback variance. My name is Rob Winningham, planner for the record. And the applicant in this file is Tamarack 1. These are the applicable standards against which the file was evaluated. Project summary, the applicant is requesting a property line setback of 8.5 feet where 15 feet is required. The requested setback is to the north property line. The purpose of the request is to allow for an addition to the rear of the condominium. All other setbacks will be met. Just a note, the applicant actually requested 8.62 feet, but since tape measures don't work like that, I just rounded it to 8.5. Background information, land use is residential, contains a single multifamily of 4-unit condominium. It is platted, parcel sizes or lot size is approximately 0.15 acres. The zoning designation is Alpine Village and comp plan designation is Alpine Village. Access is via Fleury Court, which is an independent highway district owned and maintained road with a paved travel way. Background information continued. The site does contain map slopes. It does not contain wetlands. It does not have water frontage and is within special flood hazard area zone X. Services are provided by Schweitzer Utility Company for water and sewer. Schweitzer Fire District handles fire protection. Power is provided by Northern Lights Inc. And the school district is Lake Pondere School District number 84. The two graphics that you see up there, the top right graphic is the slope. The yellow is 0 to 15%, and the red is 15 on up. The lower right-hand graphic is depicting the hydrography and the wetland layer. As you can see, neither of those are present. This is the surrounding areas showing what the comprehensive map designation and zoning designation, as well as the current land use and density. It's primarily surrounded by single family dwellings, with the exception of on the west end side is a vacant parcel. Agency review. This file was routed to approximately 82 agencies. The complete list of agencies that were routed can be found in Annex A. The only agency to comment was the Independent Highway District. They commented on snow storage as well as parking. No comment responses were provided by the Idaho Transportation Department, Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, and Idaho Department of Fish and Game. All other agencies did not respond. Public comments were received. The public comments are included in your packet. Standards review. This was reviewed against BCRC 12-234A, which states conditions apply to the property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zone or vicinity, which conditions are a result of lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the applicant has no control. Staff's response: this lot is small and very narrow. The buildings which were constructed in 1996, and I'm referring to both lots because they're pretty much identical, was built on an angle of approximately 49 degrees. This creates an issue when you extend the building out to the rear. As you can see, it would cause it to encroach into that north property line setback. The addition that the applicant has proposed will have a flat roof to match the architectural style of the structure, and therefore will not shed snow into that reduced setback. All other setbacks are being met per the site plan submitted by the applicant. Second standard is BCRC 12-234B, which requires that the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. Staff's response is that the applicant purchased the lot on October 26, 2020 per instrument number 968-487. Records of Bonner County has not made any changes to the lot since that time. The third standard is BCRC 12-234C. This requires that the granting of the variance not be in conflict with the public interest, and that it will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, welfare, or materially injurious to properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject parcel or lot. Staff's response is that property owners within a 300-foot radius of the subject property were notified of this application. Public comments were received in this file. The neighbors to the north, David and Sarah Hetzel, who would be most impacted by the encroachment, as the encroachment would be toward their lot, stated that the variance should be granted. They say they had no issues with approving the variance request. Additionally, no agencies provided comments indicating there was any negative impact to public health, safety, or welfare. These are the findings of fact that were present at the time the staff report was prepared. And Jackie, I just wanted to bring this one optional B condition to your attention. And that is that this is a condominium plat, which means that this footprint is a recorded document and it is platted. Therefore, if the addition is approved or the reduced property line setback is approved, it will be a requirement that a new condominium plat be recorded with the recorder's office. And that doesn't have to come through us. It would just be simply, because we don't do condo plats anymore. It would just be a matter of generating that and having it recorded.
Rob. Yeah, condition would also be written. Any changes to the condominium plat shall be done in accord with state. That's a simpler way to word it. Because we have jurisdiction over it. I think that is some more research on that. Okay, that's the next one I come from.
Thank you, Tyson, with Bonner County Planning. Staff recommendation, based on the above analysis, staff concluded this project is consistent with Bonner County Revised Code. And that concludes my presentation. I can answer any questions you might have.
No, I think that listening to two, you actually answered my questions. Thank you. Okay. So at this time, would the applicant like to make a presentation? Great. And please state your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Hannah James. And I've just prepared a statement. So again, thank you for that presentation. And yeah, my name is Hannah James and Tamarack 1 Unit 1 is my husband's and my primary and only residence. I'm here representing ourselves and the Peterson family who own the unit above us and have filed all the paperwork for this variance request. An overview of our proposed project is to get this 8.62 or 8.5, since tape measures don't measure that way, to the north of our property. Our unit was built when there was a 5-foot setback to the adjoining property lines on the side. When we had our property surveyed, we discovered that the rear corner of our building is 9 feet from our neighbor's property line. We also discovered that we have 35 additional feet of property to the back or west of our building, and that our building was not built parallel to this lot line. So in order to do any sort of improvement to the north side of our building, we would need a variance from the county. If we extend to the back or west of our building, we would need a variance of 8.65 feet. The Peterson family approached the Hetzels, who own the L-shaped property to the north and west of our unit. After some discussion of our hopes of an expansion, they gave us their support, which you can find in the public comments and referenced as well. They stated it creates no issues for their property or future plans. As you may know, construction and the process of it can be very costly. At this time, we have not determined what, when, or if we will pursue an expansion. We still need to determine a design, cost, and overall feasibility. The Petersons and ourselves want to make sure that this is possible before we spend any more money and time on this project. If we are granted this variance, we can then continue with proper discussions, legality, and formalities of a proposed expansion. We appreciate the time that was taken by the Department of Environmental Quality, Department of Fish and Game, Highway District, and Transportation Department for responding and stating they see no issues with the proposed addition and setback request. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Do you guys have anyone else that would like to present? Okay.
Unless Holland Peterson might want to say something, she's online, but
She does have her hand up.
Okay.
It's open.
Yeah, please let her, yeah. And just, Holland, you can go ahead and present as an applicant.
she also might just be.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Basically, I want to agree with what Hannah said and just provide
my agreement and my support of the variance request. Like she said, we have already invested money in the survey work to show the site plan and the specific variance we're requesting. We would just want to ensure that if it's granted, that step is taken before we move forward with any other planning or investments and the formalities that go along with a possible expansion. Short and sweet.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, so anyone else for, okay. Okay, so I am not going to reread the rules of testimony. I think we all heard those the first time.
Public comments.
Okay, I'm getting to that next.
Oh.
That's okay. Okay, does anyone have a written statement that they would like to enter into the record at this time? Okay, okay. Any supporting public testimony in person or online? Supporting?
Yes, we have one, Jill Cohen.
And that's a supporting testimony? Okay,
Sorry, I apologize. It's actually not.
okay, then I'm gonna have you put your, how does that work? Does she?
I did.
Okay, cool, thank you. Okay. So no one else with their hands raised for supporting? That's fine, okay. How about neutral public testimony or in person or online? See, no. Okay, opposing testimony in person or online?
Now Jill Cohen.
Okay,
Okay, so I apologize. So I'm a bit neutral because I really need to understand the transportation side of things for the parking because it is such a tight, I am an owner of 38 Fleury Court. And so I'm just curious if we could get some clarification on what the plan is for parking, if we're gonna have additional buildings.
okay. Did you have anything else you'd like to, any other comment you'd like made?
If I could get a little bit more description of the exact location, that map that was posted in our property was not exactly clear. So I was trying to do it as the slides went pretty quickly, but if we could kind of get an understanding, we have 2 other members that are residents on Fleury Court online. And so I think what we really need is just to understand where this exact location is.
Okay.
Address that, Jeff.
I was gonna let the applicant do it. If there isn't any other. Is there any other, okay, so, did she,
She hasn't put her hand down, but Sean has his hand raised.
okay, so is there
Here.
any other opposing public testimony in person or online? Sean? Sean, are you there?
Sorry.
I feel like-
My opposition to this
Can you
is
please state your name for the record?
John Cohen.
Okay. Go ahead.
Owner,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We needed your name stated for the record first. Go ahead.
fine. Owner 38 Fleury Court number 7. I just want to put my opposition in for this variance due to it's already tight enough spots. We already have encroaching into our buildings, are already pretty close together. Any additional builds or areas of this would already make a detriment to our land and our value of our place. So I wanted to put in a no vote on this, please.
Thank you.
There's no.
Okay. All right, so no more. Is there any other opposing testimony in person? There is no one else online. Okay. Anyone in the audience who did not sign up to speak who would like to enter any comments into the record? Okay. All right, so at this time, I'm going to give the applicant an opportunity to address those couple of comments that were brought up.
Yeah. Site plan.
Oh, site.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
So to first address the question of parking, both of the garages that myself and my husband and then the Petersons own are the very last two garages at the very end of the building, so it's at the very end of Fleury Court. And we don't plan on parking more vehicles there, or, you know, it's clearly to just, or it's simply just to make our living space bigger. As I said, this is our primary residence, and you know, the 540 square feet is a little tight. But yeah, it is at the end of Fleury Court, and we do use our garages, so I don't see an issue with that. And then to clarify where exactly the building expansion would be if this variance was granted. It's so where Tamarack, for the owners of 38 Fleury Court, where you can see that Tamarack #1 is written, that's where our Fleury Court Drive is, so it's looking out the back bedrooms, at least how our unit is laid out. So it's moving back up the hill towards the Blue Beetles, if that is helpful. So again, very end of the lot, the last corner, moving up towards the Blue Beetles. And the property that the Hetzels own is that whole space on the upper and lower left side of the image in front of you. Did that clarify?
I put on the Google Drive, I put an aerial pic on there. Can you pull that up? I think it'll help
Yeah.
you explain that
Yeah.
just a little bit better, because
Yeah.
it shows the roads and everything. I put
Yeah.
it as titled it HE, and then the file name, I think it's in there.
I could just bring up GIS real quick. That's probably faster than you find in the file.
Yeah. You're looking for it. I put it in the photos file.
Apparently it was not faster.
I can show you mine.
Yeah, right. Reading in cursive Zoom, right? Yeah, and just to reiterate, we are the last unit at the end of looking for that 52 Fleury Court, or Fleury Court rather.
Because they come together, there's two roads that come together there, but just.
No, it's
We're
so
above that.
we're above that
Yeah.
road, yeah, so there's Euler and Parallel, yep. And then Fleury Court loops around, and you look right down at that intersection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yep, so the blue box is our property, and so it would be, yeah, perfect, yeah.
Okay.
So that if you're able to put your cursor where
And you can see where the end of.
yeah, so the end of Fleury Court is right there. And then the proposed addition that we're asking to continue researching would be exactly where your cursor is right there. Yep. So up towards Mobile Hill Road. Great. Yeah, I hope I addressed everybody's questions, and we live there. So if you have any further questions, come find us. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Tyson, were you wanting to add something else? I think she covered everything. Okay. Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna close the hearing to public testimony. I do know that there were comments submitted, I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce the last name right, and I apologize if this is wrong, Birds, BERDE. Their opposition was in regards to the homeowners association, and I did want to bring that up, just in the sense that that is not something that can be resolved here. That's another neighborhood concern. While, you know, I don't know what the CCNRs require or any of that kind of stuff for this kind of development or anything. Again, I would have to say that's the HOA's issue to deal with. So I apologize if they were hoping that that would be resolved here. It cannot. I can't resolve that issue here. I don't have the authority to do that. But I also see that it is a very steep and very small lot. And so, yes, I can see the concerns, the challenges with developing it. And it is very unique to the area, that is for darn sure. You don't see a lot of those like that. Okay, so I didn't really have any other concerns because the like the conditions that I have to look at, one of the main ones is the safety and welfare of the properties and people. And I had no agencies and none of the actual comments that were presented any concern for any kind of safety or welfare issues there. To put here, sec. Kind of myself. Let's see. Okay. And of course, always one that I always look at too up there at Schweitzer is Independent Highway District. They deal with all the road maintenance and stuff, so I tend to look at them too, but they also did not have any issues with it. And that's a big one for me as well. So, okay, having said all of that, I amounted to absolutely nothing. I am going to approve this file V0013-24 requesting an 8.5 foot property line setback where 15 feet is required, finding that it is in accord with the Bonner County Revised Code as enumerated in the following conclusions of law and based upon the evidence submitted up to the time the staff report was prepared and testimony received at this hearing. I further adopt the findings of fact set forth in the staff report and direct planning staff to draft written findings and conclusions to reflect this decision and transmit to all interested parties. The action that could be taken to obtain the variance is to complete the conditions of approval as adopted. This action does not result in any taking of private property. Conclusion 1, conditions apply to the property that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zone or vicinity, which conditions are a result of lot size, shape, topography, or other circumstances over which the applicant has no control. Conclusion 2, special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. Conclusion 3, the granting of the variance is not in conflict with the public interest in that it will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare or materially injurious properties or improvements in the vicinity of the subject parcel or lot. And where do I put in that condition? Okay, and it should just, is it condition B?
It's a B condition.
So any changes to the condominium plat shall be before the Idaho State Code.
Okay. So it is it falls under a condition B. Is that what we're saying?
A B.
A B condition?
Yeah, the other ones that are listed there are B conditions.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, so then I am also amending or adding a B condition that a new condominium plat is required to be recorded, but to be done so according to state code.
Any changes to the existing
Okay.
condominium plat shall be.
Any changes to the new condominium plat shall be recorded and done so according to state code. Forgive me. I'm learning something every day there. Okay. Okay. So let's see, I think that's it then. Okay. The decision is based upon, did I say this part already? Yes. No. Crap. I'm gonna say it again anyway if I did, sorry. The decision is based upon the evidence submitted up to the time the staff report was prepared and testimony received at this hearing. I further adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law as set forth in the staff report and direct planning staff to draft written findings and conclusions to reflect this decision and transmit to all interested parties. This action does not result in the taking of private property. The action could be taken, if any, to obtain the variance is to file a new, wait a minute, what am I reading?
You're in the denial.
Dang it. I am really sorry. Okay, I'm ending it with this action does not result in the taking of private property. So at this time, I am closing file V0013-24. I so apologize to you guys. I'm confused myself. Okay, we'll get it one of these days.
The first part, I mean, anything to be amended.
Yeah. I always get messed up when I'm adding stuff after the fact. Okay. Okay. Are there any schedule reminders, updates, announcements?
I know, no,
The V12,
people.
yeah, V12 was appealed.
And then. Yeah, that's the.
Still working on the hearing date.
Okay.
That was the Two Mouth Creek one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
figured that one. Okay, anything else? No? Okay, then we are adjourned until the next planning hearing on Wednesday, August 21st, 2024.
Boom. Double down.
End on this day. Thank you guys for your
Thank you so much. No,
patience.
thank you. Thank you for your technical assistance.